from West Virginia, Joe Manchin, who co-sponsored that bill. Disappointed now, not surprised. You know, Senator, I'm told by the White House folks this wasn't rejected on the merits of the case, but who was making the case. In other words, that this is the president's prerogative, not Congress's prerogative. Does that ease your angst any more or less?
Well, that doesn't help ease it at all. The bottom line is that, Neil, how many times have you seen us do something bipartisan? We had 9 Democrats that voted in support of that bill, and it was overwhelmingly as far as in bipartisan ranks today. And basically, when you looked at all the barriers were broke down, the Canadians agreed on everything we asked for, American-made steel, basically the 8 cents into the recovery fund, and making sure no oil could flow through and be exported out of here. There were all the conditions they met. And then thousands of jobs would have been created, and I heard all the rumblings about, yeah, but they're not permanent jobs. Well, you know what? Infrastructure jobs, I haven't built one bridge or been a part of building a bridge in West Virginia where I had a permanent job after the bridge was built. But I had some good contracting jobs, good union-paying jobs while we were building the bridge. So I just can't figure it out. I really can't. We just had a horrific train derailment with an explosion in West Virginia, moving this oil through different parts of the country where it needs to go. And with that being said, every one of the State Department's reports said it would be much safer, environmentally safer, and safer to humans if it would travel by pipeline versus rail or road.
Maybe the president is just putting his vote where his mouth is. He just hates fossil fuels, period. Whether it's traveling by train or in a pipeline, he just doesn't like it.
You know, the thing about it, I think this was all about, it wasn't about the pipeline. It was about basically trying to stop Canada from producing it. Canada's a sovereign country. Canada has the right to do what they think is best, and they're doing better ways. They're environmentally enhancing what they're doing. They're making great strides in that, and I'm planning on going up and spending some time and visiting with them. But they're going to produce this oil. There's a market, worldwide market for this oil, and it will be sold. We have a chance to control it through North America, protecting the United States of America, making us more secure. And here we are, dilly-dallying around. It's going to be built. You understand? It will be built, Neil. Why should we have to wait an extra 2 or 3 years to build it? The economy could use it right now. We could use the oil for security. Quit buying the oil from Venezuela. Quit buying from Saudi Arabia. Buy it from our friendly neighbor of Canada.
Do you think, though, that there's maybe this isn't a dead issue? You just mentioned, sir, that it's still going to be built. But that this is part of a grander bargain that if you buy the lawyer and the president saying that this was vetoed on the basis of Congress can't decide this issue, the executive branch, only the executive branch can. I think that's the gist. Then that he would be open to a deal, let's say a mass infrastructure bill, that would include, money for pipeline, right, all of this stuff, maybe a gas tax, all of that, and he'll give you this thing as part of a bigger infrastructure measure. Would you support that?
Absolutely. First of all, half of this line's already built, Half of the line's built. I mean, it's going to be built sooner or later under some administration, I'll assure you that. Now, with that being said, are you saying, can we revitalize it, resuscitate it by basically putting it into a larger jobs infrastructure bill, Rebuild America bill? That'd be hard to carve that one out. Absolutely, and I'd be in favor of that. We've tried everything.
Would you be in favor then of a gas tax as well? Is that what part of it is?
The gas, you know what? I hear all the arguments about it. A gas tax puts a heck of a burden on West Virginians because we drive tremendously. And when gas gets $3.50, $4, I've heard people talking about, well, if gas is below $3 a gallon, could you put an extra surcharge on it at that point in time, which people have been paying $3.50 and $4.
Right.
That discussion's been going on. I've heard everything from starting an infrastructure bank by putting 0.5% of the national sales tax on, will be used only for infrastructure because all of us are using goods, whether we use the highways or not. Everything that we consume is being moved by our infrastructure. So that's been talked about. There's got to be someone with leadership and enough guts to stand up and say, if we're going to rebuild America, if we're going to do what we need to do, this is how it's going to be paid for. We're still discussing that, but we can come to agreement, I'm sure, and then move forward. But whatever we do, we need a good infrastructure bill that rebuilds America.
Do you think that the die has been cast, though, Senator, whether you want to blame the president or Republicans, that nothing is going to get done? These next couple of years are just going to be like this?
Well, here's the thing. I would say that people like myself, Democrats who are centrist, you know, who are moderate and conservative on fiscal issues. You need 6 of us, okay? Well, they had 9 of us on this bill. 9 of us. And for all different reasons, but we thought it was good for America. We thought it was good for our country and good for our economy, okay? All the things we looked at, and the environment. So we were for that. I don't know, I'm hoping sooner or later the president's got to look at, you know what, we're moving the country, trying to move it forward. And if the Republicans are meeting and working with us and meeting us halfway on things, then we should be willing to sit down and work through this. Quit playing politics with everything we do. Don't play
let me
politics
ask you, I'm sorry, sir, but let me ask you then about this effort on the part of Mitch McConnell, Republican leader in the Senate, to try to get this Homeland Security funding thing clarified, that he would send a clear bill that would continue funding for Homeland Security, but separately carve out this provision that many Republicans find onerous that allows the president to delay these deportations for up to 5 million illegals that a judge now has tabled or at least tried to stop.
Yeah.
But Senator McConnell does not want to mess with the Homeland Security budget itself or get that to be the divisive issue. What do you think of that?
Right. Well, here's the thing. I think right now where we are, if Majority Leader McConnell is willing to separate that, which I understand he is, and we have a clean funding for Homeland Security, we're not playing politics.
Right.
That is the highest priority we have. We vote on that first. Take the politics away, vote on that one. And the policy that people agree or disagree with the president overreached and overstepped, even the president at one time thought he wasn't able to do what he did. And now the courts have said, well, I think maybe it has merit, maybe we'll look at this further. And the president has said, I will not move forward on my executive order until the courts rule. If all that's in play, don't you think we can separate them, take the politics out, vote for the clean Homeland Security, then vote on basically the president's executive order? I told the Republicans I would support their movement, and I think that's a rational way to move. You give them both to the House. The Democrats are afraid the House are going to do a different thing, basically play a gotcha game and make some amendments. I don't think the House would pass up the ability to vote for a clean Homeland Security. If they do that and they put their immigration bill, they're basically repealing the president's executive order, they're truly playing politics at the highest level and putting their politics ahead of the security of our nation. I just don't think good people will do that.
Quickly, sir, you're considered a moderate Democrat, try to reach across the other side. Many are saying your party is taking a hard drive to the left. Hillary Clinton's going to have a devil of a time, trying to ward off those on the left. Elizabeth Warren has been mentioned, others have been mentioned. Many argue on the Republican side they're going to make a hard drive to the right, that the mainstreamers like Jeb Bush, etc. But that it's going to be a tough battle, and each party goes their extreme ways. What do you think of that?
God help America if we do that. I mean, if we continue to go down this path here, this is not what we were sent here to do, Neil. The bottom line, I can have my differences. I can have my friends on the Republican side differ with me, and we can still be friends and respect each other, not embarrass each other, not try to defeat each other every time we turn around and try to stab somebody in the back. We're working here for this country, and I'll tell you, if America does well, West Virginia does very good. And I'm proud of my little state with some common sense, so I'm not going to get caught in that. I don't go out and campaign against any of my colleagues. I will not campaign against the sitting senator, Democrat or Republican. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to basically work to try to bring people together, and I just hope that we don't get so splintered and so divided. You cannot lead this country from the extremes.
Okay.
We're proving that.
Senator, thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Neil.
Meanwhile,